Hey, it's Tansel. Great leaders not only remember people's names, they remember people. Let's discuss. Hi, I'm Tansel, four-time Australian memory champion, international best-selling author, and your memory coach. So today I want to talk about a topic of a skill that not a lot of people actually work on, because remembering names, people try and remember names and you forget. And I've done a ton of videos on that. This video is greater than just remembering a name. It's about connecting with an individual at a deeper level. And what leaders need to be able to do, and I know the good ones do, the great ones do actually, is not just remember someone's name, right? That's like the first level. That's the first base. They need to be able to show a lot of care and build amazing rapport so that they can build that trust and connection, right? So the name is important, but the person is way more important. And when I say person, right, it's not just the name, it's what they do, what they love doing, who they are, what their values are, what they stand for. It could be so many things, right? It could be sharing an interest with them. Maybe they say they like a particular football team, right? And if you've got that in your mind, even though you don't even follow football, right? If you've got that in your mind, you can bring that up in conversation. So now you're talking about something they're interested in, right? So that just bridges the gap of connection. If you don't take note of things like that, then next time you get into a conversation, it becomes a little bit challenging. You have to work really, really hard. Whereas if you get into those conversations where it's almost effortless, it's fantastic. How cool is it to be able to connect with someone and just have an easy, flowing conversation? And that's why it's important for leaders, especially. When I say leaders, these are people that have visions for, a better future, right? So connecting with an individual on a greater level is far more important than just trying to remember a name, right? And I know I've had a lot of people that come to me for coaching, right? And they say, Tansel, I want to be able to remember names. And I sort of just stop from there. Okay, did you know that you could get free memory lessons from me on my website, right? Go to tanselali.com. I'll put it in the description and also on the screen, and get week by week memory lessons. So jump on board now and let's get started. Okay, so when I stop these people and say, hang on, let's just pause for a second. You want to remember names? What are you currently doing? What's your process? How are you approaching people? How are you having conversations? What's your communication style like? Right? Because for every single person, it's obviously going to be different. You're not going to be, trying to communicate a lot with someone who doesn't communicate, right? You have to sort of do the, communication matching. And we can talk about that in another video. So it's about understanding the individual as well. And that's where, again, it's not just about remembering a name. And also, it's not about forcing as well. I know a lot of people out there that try and say the names, as much as they can, meaning them just so they can remember it. That's very cheesy, man. And to be honest, it kind of borders on superficial if you do that. Oh, hi, Bob. How you going, Bob? That's great, Bob. How do you spell your name, Bob? Bob. Do you see what I mean? So, but if you remember the name, if you use the memory techniques, right? Like I mentioned, I've got a ton of videos on that already, so check them out. If you use, say, something like association, you meet a John, they're in the toilet, whatever, right? That's going to stay with you. So you don't have to try and say the name a million times. You can say it intentionally now. And that's so much better, saying the name intentionally, because it means that you mean it rather than saying it for the sake of saying it, right? And again, we're looking at authentic communication, not just communication for the sake of trying to remember. And that's what leaders need to look at, authentic communication. And by the way, I've just launched my 12-week memory coaching program. So if you'd like to apply for that, message me or get onto my website, tanselali.com, send me an email, right? And if you're one of the, I'm only taking 10 people. So if you're one of the 10 that is really, really eager, right? we can have a chat further, see if you're a right fit, because the coaching program is not for everybody, right? You have to be out of a certain mindset. You have to, be committed to the cause, right? If you're just, half-assed, I'll see how I go, it's not going to work for you. So anyway, I'll put the link down in the description. If you're going out there to just try and remember names, right? Remember, think a bit deeper and look at how you can build connection and make things stronger. You're not just remembering a name, you're connecting with an individual, right? And spend time, listen deeply, ask, questions, because it gets the other person talking. Right? If the other person's talking, now you can use that time to visualize a lot more and try and understand where they're coming from, who they are. Do you see what I mean? And that's what will help you not just remember names, but build greater connection and then essentially become a better leader, because now you're getting it, you're understanding people, and then you're getting better at communicating back, because now that you fully understand, you can only say the things that are going to match them. And I picked this up through my coaching. I was a world's worst listener because I'd forget what people would say, and then I'd interrupt halfway through because I would think that I'd forget, what I was going to say. Right? Where in reality is I learned to just stop, not worry about what I was planning to say, and fully listen. Because if I fully listened, what would happen is that I'd take in the full amount of their communication, and then I could decipher that. Because what would happen, and this is what I found from years of coaching, right? I've been doing it for over 22 years. What would happen is that I would now understand what they fully said to me, and then I can formulate my own response, which is most of the time better than what I initially thought of, right? And plus, you know what? We've got pens and paper and phones. You can write things down anyway, right? There's nothing wrong with writing down notes. And I take notes a lot in my meetings and coaching sessions. So nothing wrong. It's just to trigger some pertinent things that you'd want to talk about. So again, main message, it's not just remembering a name, it's remembering a person. Go out and practice this skill. Me just talking about it, it might be a little reminder for you, but you know what? You're going to get the results if you practice it. And I think I'll end all my videos with the practice element. Go out and do it. Let me know how you do as well. Like, write down in the comments how this is working for you, because I can guarantee that building greater connections will give you so much more than what you've ever wanted in life. So go and do that. I'll jump onto my next video and I'll see you soon. Cheers.